Hey, pardon me. Whew. I just got attacked by a frog right at the beginning of the show. It's Rick Kamla. It's Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. We're the GOATs. We're the OGs. We bring you the Fantasy NBA today. And so, Doc, here we go again, man. We got a couple of squads here. We got the Chicago Bulls. We got the Sacramento Kings. The teams these are interesting teams, man. I'm excited to get into this and break it down. How you living, bro? You good?
I'm good, man. I'm doing well. Still in my wife's office. Internet is down, but I'm here, ready to roll.
They almost made Twister 3 in Doc's neighborhood recently in North Georgia, Dahlonega specifically. Dang it, I shouldn't have said Dahlonega. Now the paparazzi is going to be all over your ass up there in Dahlonega. Now that I said, it's a small North Georgia town. You swing a bat a couple of times, you're going to hit Steve. You're going to hit my boy Dr. A at one of the local establishments. So sorry, dude. The paparazzi is going to be all over your ass now.
Dude, I've been recognized by like 2 people ever. One dude lives in Dahlonega, and he's like, "Hey, nice to meet you. What's your name?" I'm like, "Steve," and he's like, "Oh, my name is Steve too." And he goes, "What do you do for a living?" And I was like, "I write about fantasy sports." And he's like, "What website?" And I go, "Roto-World." He goes, "What sport?" And I said, "Basketball." He's like, "Are you Dr. A?"
Nice.
That's
cool. That's super cool.
It is. He's like, "Yes, I am. Nice to meet you."
That's badass. Are you still buddies with that guy?
Yep.
Do you take money from him at what's your golf game? What's that game called?
Golden Tee. No, Golden I do not. Steve does not play Golden Tee, and we've never bet on sports. But he talks to me. He plays trivia at Casey's game every week, and he always comes over and talks to me about his fantasy basketball team.
That's awesome. I love that. I love
it's good.
We're here for that, by the way. Some may not be. We love. We're fantasy doctors. He's Dr. A. I mean, hey man, my team's in trouble. I promise you, there's going to be 3 drops and 3 waiver wire ads right now. Right? Just give me your phone. Let's get this right with your team, okay? And we're here for that. We love helping you guys out with that, and it's a community thing. So, BetOnline is our amazing sponsor. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, we are deep into the NBA and NHL finals, and BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, scores, news, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We keep the dog days of summer rolling right along with the largest selection of odds on everything, with updated odds on MLB, UFC, boxing, tennis, with Andre's guy Alcaraz. I think I got it right this time. And NFL futures. BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and a live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. And Doc, we start with the Chicago Bulls. And who is their fantasy MVP? You want to go first with that one?
Yeah, I guess it was Nikola Vucevic. No, it was Josh Giddey. What am I thinking? Josh Giddey, his overall season stats were nice. They weren't great, but they were nice. 14.5 points, 8 boards, 7 assists. Yeah, that's pretty great. But those numbers were even bigger over the second half of the season. So Josh Giddey was my guy coming in. He was on all of my teams. He was one of my guys in my guys column. And I made sure I drafted Giddey everywhere. And I reached for him around early when I did it. And it all paid off because he had an incredible season. Helped by the fact that Zach LaVine got traded, but he was balling out with or without Zach LaVine.
Yeah, man. The last month, Josh Giddey's the fantasy MVP. And kind of like the show we did on the Portland Trailblazers when I made Denny Abdia my fantasy MVP of the Blazers, he literally was a lifeline for championship teams. Like, without him, you don't win. With him, you win. Josh Giddey, even more so than Denny Abdia. Josh Giddey averaged a triple-double over the final like you go March and then, the few little games sprinkling into April. So that like extended month period, he averaged a triple double. Guess what, guys? That's winning time. That's when we're winning fantasy championships. I would recommend, people watching. Yeah, man, Giddey's the reason I won my fantasy championship. How much money did you win? $950. Go buy a jersey. Go get a Giddey jersey, man. Commemorate that stuff. That's what I do. I think it's a cool idea. They got $70 joints on Fanatics. The Swingman one, it's like lighter and it doesn't have the stitching. I like them anyway. They're like more flimsy. I don't know. Like I wear them to the beach and stuff like that. I love wearing jerseys. I actually like the $70 joint as opposed to the $130. I just like the layout of that shirt better. Or jersey. But he literally won fantasy titles. And get yourself a jersey. Why not? Get yourself a jersey, Doc. I picked up a Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley jersey after winning the Cam Dynasty championship. Doc, by the way, I'm gonna come knocking for some cash here soon. I still got to collect money on that, dude. I suck as a commissioner. I mean, I'm kind of good at it, but I also suck at it. Like the treasurer part of it, I absolutely hate collecting money.
What do I owe you money for?
For Cam Dynasty, bro. $50. You can Venmo me or PayPal.
Is it 50 every year?
Well, it's not for you. This is the last $50 entry fee that you will pay. But yeah, it's $50 every year. And you are not behind. You are not in arrears. None of that is going on. Like okay. I haven't even started collecting yet. It's not like I've been waiting on you. It's all good.
Thanks for the heads up. I'll prepare.
Sorry, it's it is what it is. But this will be it. How many cash leagues are you in, or do you not do cash leagues, Doc?
Well, I was in that one. I'm in like 2 or 3, but like you, collecting money. I hate doing it, especially in that rock and roll league. Like, I'm asking these rock stars to send me $50, and it just feels weird. So most of my leagues that I run, I just stop doing it for money because it's a pain in the ass to try to collect it. So I really have stopped doing cash leagues, at least the ones I run. Mm-hmm. Just because it's weird asking people for money. I don't like doing it.
I agree with everything you're saying, dude. It is what it is. But everybody knows the entry fee. I'll be honest with you, because it's a $75 entry fee in Cam Dynasty NFL. It's $50 for Cam Dynasty NBA. I wanted them to be bragging rights leagues. That was the intent of it. We're going to be savage, intellectual fantasy badasses competing at the highest level possible, right? We don't need money for this. I got so much blowback from guys. This league bores me. I don't want to do it unless there's money on the line. And so I literally had to create an entry fee to keep the league together. Like I was going to lose many, many members and have to I didn't want to do all that. So I'm like, all right, screw it. $50 entry fee. Is that sufficient? And then I tried to go up to 100. Wham on that end. It's too high, man. You're killing me. Okay. Is 50 the price point? Yes. 50 is the price point.
Dude, the 3 leagues, the 3 hoops leagues I'm in that I really care about, there's no money involved. 30 deep, rock and roll, and Malcolmus runs the league that I'm in. And, I love those leagues, and I don't care if I'm playing for money or not. Just like the baseball league that we're playing in together right now. There's no money
Dude,
involved in that. But I want to win. I want to win every single week.
We got to look at the standings here real quick.
I'm in second. You're in 4th.
Yeah, I made a nice little surge. You saw I got a 9-1 joint last week, right? You saw that?
Oh, you did? I got a 3-4. I got my first L.
I think it's at 8-2 or 7-2. Yeah, I'm back solidly in 4th place. I'm 4 games behind Doc in 2nd place, and the leader is got a 66 and 31. My God. Shout out to Larry at our baseball division, and check out Larry's weather articles on sportsethos.com. Had a nice conversation with Larry before the year. I'm happy he's leading our league right now. Doc is a really nice guy. But in the end, Larry, we're going to be coming for your head. Okay. Just know this. Okay. There's no mercy around this bitch. I'm telling you right now.
If you're serious about gambling, you need to know what's going on with baseball weather and football weather. And that's what Larry does, man. very cool intel you get from reading those.
No question. All right, let's get back to our story here. Doc, I'll give you a couple of players who surprised, and then you can go here. Zach Collins. Do you remember the rise of Zach Collins with the Chicago Bulls? Dude, do you remember how fun that was for like 2 weeks? We could not stop talking about Zach Collins. He was like the Filipowski of that little period. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't get Filipowski out my mouth fast enough the last 2 months of the regular season. Filipowski, my boy, yo. By the way, I flipped him in the Cam Dynasty with a future first-round pick and some other asshat, and I got me some Jalen Green, yo. Let's go, baby. That's how we roll, man. It's a consolidation trades, trading future picks, just like my boy Les Snead. F them picks, baby. F them picks. I'm here to win, yo. Take all your money. While you're stockpiling this team with 21, 22, 23-year-olds that's never, ever going to win, you know, I got the blend. That's how you do it. You get the blend. You don't go super young. It's a dumb way to go. That's how you lose year after year. And Trey Jones, Doc. Trey Jones had a nice little moment in time, and then he blew a tire and was gone for the rest of the year. But do you remember when, like, Herter hadn't happened yet, Io was out, and our guy was doing stuff. Trey Jones was the point guard of the Bulls. And dude, hold on a second. I'm piecing this back together. Didn't him going out also contribute to Josh Giddey being on the ball more and doing more stuff when Trey Jones blew a tire and was out for the year? Did that have any kind of pivot factor on Josh Giddey, as you recall it?
I don't think Giddey like popped right after it happened, but I mean, it certainly was one of the dominoes that fell into place for Giddey to have the ball in his hands more than he did initially. So. And Trey Jones, like you said, was playing very well. He only made it through 18 games. I think he started 9 of those, and I believe all 9 of those starts, he was pretty good. Like, I had him on a couple teams, and I was fired up. I thought he was going to have a great year.
I had him on my team in the Cam Dynasty. I'm like, I found something here. This is found money off the waiver wire, and then he went away. Andre, who is now taking over Doc's team in the Cam Dynasty. Doc's former team. Andre said, you over there making trades before giving me access to my team with an exclamation mark. Nobody has access to any of their teams right now. I have not turned on the league for the 25-26 season, Andre. You're not missing out on anything. I did the Jalen Green trade on the night of the trade deadline in advance of the playoffs this year. So everything's above board. Everything's copacetic and good. He said, I'm watching you. That's the line of the show. And he said, and I'm coming for you. Oh my God. I love that Andre's in this league, dude. I love that he's in this league. Doc, he's going to make you proud, bro. All right, let's get back to our story here. Who surprised you for the Chicago Bulls, or did you already answer that question?
Your guy, Kevin Herter, played very well for the Bulls. I was surprised.
Red velvet, baby. Little red velvet.
He came over from the Kings, and I really wasn't buying it.
You weren't.
And he was good. He proved me wrong. So Kevin Herter was a nice surprise. I'll just and Kobe White didn't surprise me. He did what he was supposed to do. He was pretty good. The fact that Nikola Vucevic, it felt like he was fading away, but he's finished strong. And he had another good season, 18 and a half points, 10 boards. 0.7 blocks was disappointing. But Vooch, I was surprised Vooch kept it going all year.
Here's my thing with Vooch, Doc. He's growing on me. You know why? The vanishing act of block shots in the NBA. I mean, yes, are we going to target Miles Turner and Brooke Lopez and Alex Sarr and the guys that block, Donovan Clingan, the guy, although Clingan, I can't put him in that group. Clingan would be in a deeper group than that. But you get my point. We're always going to be obsessed in targeting and reaching for block shots. But guess what, Doc? How many guys block? I mean, what is it? It's 10, 12, 13 guys that really, really block shots to a difference-making level, right? In the entire league. Maybe 15, 10 to 15 guys. And I'm talking if you're like 1.4 blocks and up. How many guys do that? Probably about 15 guys. Okay?
You know,
And
I
so
feel
outside
like,
of those guys, like Vooch is an 18 and 10, good assist number. He does bang threes. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I know the block thing is important, but dang it, these other numbers are sexy over here, bro. And so all these cats are dropping in the shot blocking, which to me raises the value of a non-shot blocker like a Vooch.
yeah, and I feel like it used to be like Kevin Durant. You know, his shot is not blockable. Like, you can't block Kevin Durant's shot. That was sort of an anomaly. It was rare. But now I feel like there's 75 guys that play in the league where you just cannot block their shot. They're too fast.
Great point.
And they're fading away, and they're shooting at top elevation. And I just think it's harder to block shots in the NBA today than it's ever been in the history of the game. So I think the only guys that are really good at blocking shots are the guys that are super tall. Like Wembanyama is a great shot blocker because he's so tall. Whereas in the past, I don't think it was necessarily you had to be the tallest guy in the league to block shots, but now you kind of do. So I think block shots are becoming the scarcest thing to acquire in fantasy hoops.
Without question. There is so obviously, and that's why we draft up for these guys. That's why Jaren Jackson Jr. is such an amazing fantasy player. All right, check this out, dude. I've got the shot blocking leaders from last year, and this does not include Wemby. This includes guys that like actually qualify, right? Like Walker Kessler led the league in shot blocking last year at 2.4 per game. All right, that's one. Miles Turner, 2 per game. That's 2. Brook Lopez, 1.9. That's 3. Donovan Clingan, even at 19.8 minutes, was at 1.6. He's 4. Evan Mobley, 1.6. That's 5. Jaren Jackson Jr., 1.5. That's 6. Alex Sarr, 1.5. That's 7. Rudy Gobert at 1.4. That's 8. Nick Claxton at 1.4. That's 9. Isaiah Stewart, wow, 1.4 blocks. Didn't even know that. That's 10. Goga Batadze, 1.4 blocks. That's 11. Nobody even wants him on their team. Isaiah Stewart is a pretty much non-drafted guy as well. Peyton Watson, 1.4 blocks. Nobody's drafting Peyton Watson. And then you get to Yves Missi at 1.3, Amen Thompson at 1.3. Okay, 1.3 is not difference making. 1.3 is solid, all right? Is 1.4 even difference making? Not really. It's one percentage thing. Doc, I'm going to go down to Nick Claxton here, bro. I'm not giving I don't think Isaiah Stewart's going to go 1.4 blocks again. Goga Batadze is a bench player. Peyton Watson's a bench player. These other guys, Kevin Durant, 1.2 blocks. Okay, so what? Like, it's not difference making. Dude, you've literally got 10 guys in this league who are making a difference with shot blocking. 10 guys. And so again, dude, Bam Adebayo. Think about Bam Adebayo. We don't really love Bam Adebayo, right? Because he doesn't block shots, right? At least that's how I view him. How about Domantas Sabonis, Doc? You know, it's always kind of the hang up. Damn, his defense is there's never any blocks or steals there at all. This conversation we're having right now, this stat thing where you've got 10 difference-making shot blockers in the entire freaking league, to me, ups the value of those non-shot blocking guys. Because just go get all those other goodies. You know, dude, Bam Adebayo's a goodie guy, man. We know Sabonis is a goodie guy. And yeah, Vucevic is a goodie guy. They don't block shots. But I'm kind of over that, Doc. I really am.
I mean, it's interesting to think about it that way because there's, like you said, there's only like 8 difference maker guys at that position that do that. So, and it just makes Wemby that much more valuable, but it also makes a guy who gets 0.7 worth, you know, he has value.
Yeah, because like, and we'll move on here. Like Kevin Durant's at 1.2 blocks. Okay, you take this guy over here, he's at 0.9 blocks, right? Which is 0.9, that sucks, blah, blah, blah. 0.9 blocks is still 0.9 blocks. And 0.9 blocks is 0.3 of a block below Kevin Durant at 1.2. 0.3 of a block. Is that really making that big of a difference on your team? I'm just saying, it's math. All right, Doc, players who disappointed, and take your time with this. This is probably a voluminous list.
I don't think it's too bad. Patrick Williams is dead to me. I've never fallen for the guy, and I never will. And I don't think people are still saying, "Oh, Pat Williams is going to be good someday." I think that ship has sailed, and he's just not my cup of tea. Jalen Smith, I know Brewski was pretty high on him coming in, and it just never really happened. He just didn't get enough run or minutes or opportunity to do anything. He only played 15 minutes a game. And then the biggest disappointment to me was Modest Vucevic. I thought Vucevic was going to win the dunk contest, and he was terrible in the dunk contest. I thought he was going to win Rookie of the Year, and he was not that great. I still think the talent is immense, and he's going to be a good player one day. But this year was very disappointing. 18.9 minutes per game, 8.6 points per game. And none of the other numbers really popped. He's a shot blocker, but he didn't really block that many shots, 0.9 a game. Vucevic to me was the biggest disappointment.
I will talk about Vucevic coming up a little bit. The biggest disappointment for me, Patrick Williams. But, Doc, to be disappointed, there has to be expectation to create the disappointment. Expectation, you get let down. Oh, it triggers the emotion, otherwise known as disappointment. Okay? I had no expectations for Patrick Williams. My answer, all kidding aside here, Doc, is no one. No one disappointed me for the Chicago Bulls. It was all pretty chalky. Vooch did what Vooch does. Kobe White scored 20 a game. Okay, that sounds about right. Giddey spiked without Zach LaVine. That makes sense. Ayo was his typical, I got my eye on you on waivers, but I'm not really that stoked about going out and grabbing you. You know me and Ayo. I like him in reality. I do. In reality, it's different. In fantasy, I'm just not that psyched about Ayo. I'm more psyched about my boy Kevin Huerter, man. Give me the package of steals and threes, man, from Red Velvet. So it all was pretty chalky. And I'm not saying, I'm a know-it-all and stuff. I'm just saying, I didn't see any real disappointments. I didn't. So that's my answer. All right. We want you guys to download the Sports Ethos app. I'm on one today, Doc. I'm on one. I'm especially weird today. All right, I'll just read the promo, Cam. We're making big investments here. Sports Ethos app, it is for you guys. It's the next generation of Sports Ethos. The past 12 months have been game changers, and we're giving back, man. We're working hard behind the scenes to deliver the best fantasy product you've ever experienced. You're getting a sense of it right now, and by watching all of our shows. Download our app now from your favorite app store. Stay up on all the latest news, NBA, NFL, MLB. Take advantage of our fantasy basketball tools because our app is your ultimate edge. Don't miss out. The Sports Ethos app is completely free, by the way. Offseason outlook, Doc. I'll stop here and then we'll get into free agency and the draft. There was a report recently that the Bulls do not want to enter next season with both Kobe White and Josh Giddey. Did you see that report? What do you make of it? Do you agree? Or would you try to keep the White-Giddey thing together if you were the Bullies?
You said, were you going to try to keep the White? And I thought you were going to say the White. Whoa. Yeah, it's interesting. I would rather have Giddey, honestly. And I think Kobe White should have some value if you're going to try to move him. So I don't know that you need to separate those two to be good. I like both players. I love Kobe White. Have him on a bunch of teams, and I had Giddey on every team. And I was fine with them coexisting. But it is interesting. I do think they could get maybe a Pat Williams replacement, like trade Kobe White and Pat Williams and get it kind of a balanced forward to fill in the hole there. But interesting. I love both players.
I agree with you. I'm not really looking to break that up. They seemed to have synergy on the court together a little bit. I don't feel like it's like duplicate players. I mean, Josh Giddey is a super unique player. He is a 6'8" point guard who is a walking triple double. Okay, Kobe White is an absolute gunner, slasher, bucket getter, bro. Like fearless and ballsy and taking big shots and making big shots. They would just be dumb as hell. And it depends on what you get back, right? But like if you're just getting rid of Kobe White to like free up Giddey more or to create more time for Herter or Io or Lonzo Ball, like you're morons. Now, the Bulls front office, Doc, has not done a great job. Okay, their handling of the Zach LaVine situation, what they ended up getting back for him was abysmal, and should have traded him way before that. And Patrick Williams, do you realize that last summer, probably like just over a year ago, the Bulls gave Patrick Williams 5 years and $90 million.
No, that hurts. That stings. That's going to leave a mark.
Bro, look, Arturas Karnisovich, the shot caller for the Bulls, I'm buddies with him. Okay, when I lived in New Jersey, Doc, check this out. My oldest son, Ty, played on a T-ball team. Okay, on that T-ball team was the son of Arturas Karnisovich. So we got to know each other, and he was with the league office at the time. He was an executive at with the NBA in wherever Fifth Avenue or wherever their headquarters are. So I got to know him. Like I'm buddies with Arturas. We were down there at Sirius XM for the Bulls training camp like 2 years ago. I worked it with Robbie Hummel and had a great talk with Arturas. Remember the old days, T-ball and all this stuff? So that's my guy. But you know what, dude? I'm paid to sing it. I'm paid to tell it like it is. I don't think he's done a good job with this team. And I love the man. I wish him well. I'm glad he still has the job. But, dude, 5 years and $90 million for Patrick Williams. You want to talk about bidding against yourself? Which, by the way, is a cardinal sin of GMing in any sport, is bidding against yourself. When you have all the leverage and you just hand the leverage over to Patrick Williams, 5 years and $90 million, dude, Patrick Williams would have signed a 2-year, $16 million deal. I fucking promise he would have signed that deal. Who was going to belly up to the Pat Williams bar, Doc? You tell me.
Yeah, he's probably not even. He's probably untradeable.
5 years, $90 million. Anyway, had to give you that and go back to the old Jersey days and T-ball. It's what we do sometimes. But the Bulls have a lot of free agents, dude. Javon Carter, Josh Giddey, restricted free agent. Taylor Horton-Tucker, Trey Jones, E.J. Liddell, Emmanuel Miller. The last two are restricted. Giddey, again, is restricted, okay? So a team comes with an offer sheet. The Bulls will have a chance to match. The Bulls may just say, screw it. We're just going to max this guy out. So talk to me about that. Do you think Josh Giddey will be maxed out? Vooch is not maxed out. Kobe White is not maxed out. Almost every team has at least one max player. Giddey was the 6th overall pick, played like a max player towards the end of the year. Do you think they max him out?
I don't know, man. Everything you just said about their front office not doing a good job and making mistakes leads me to believe that maybe they will not. But I think you got to do whatever you got to do to keep Giddey at this point. I love Giddey. They letting Giddey go or letting him go somewhere else at some point, I think is going to be a huge mistake. So you got to lock him up. I don't know if that is a max deal or not, though. I don't know.
I love this idea. Our producer, Andre Lemouche, he asked, should the Nets give Giddey a max sheet? I love it. I love it. Yes. Yes. Because you have Cam Thomas, you have Cam Johnson, you have Nick Claxton, and you know what you need with that group, Doc? A 3-and-D wing. You need Aaron Nesmith and a point guard. So maybe you don't go get Kuminga. Maybe you, but I think the Bulls will match that max sheet. Andre and audience, I don't think the Bulls are going to let him go. I'm with Doc. I don't think the Bulls should let him go. I would be willing to max out Josh Giddey if that's what it took to keep him. If I were the Reinsdorf family, who, by the way, are selling the White Sox to Ishbia's brother. Am I getting that right? I think I saw that. Anyway, who cares? It's baseball. But if you're the Nets, dude, think about Josh Giddey on the Nets with Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson, and Nick Claxton. Dude, his numbers would be sensational.
Yeah. Yeah, good players on bad teams, man. That's one of my favorite things. And that would be a perfect example of that.
Good players on bad teams. All right, and then in the draft, they have the 12th overall pick. The Chicago Bulls. Tankathon is saying they're going to take Derek Queen, a center out of Maryland, and that's all I know. I want you to visit sportsethos.com. Speaking of brilliant minds like Andre Lemouche and Dr. A, I'm probably a different adjective in front of mind for me. I wouldn't use brilliant, but we pride ourselves in being competitive, taking no shortcuts, and delivering the best fantasy analysis in the game. We want to win. We want to help you win. We want you to subscribe. If you do it now, you're going to be grandfathered in. We add all this other stuff. Your price is going to stay locked in. So go to sportsethos.com and subscribe to our work over there. All right, Doc, players to watch here for the Chicago Bulls heading into next year. Go.
I think this is probably the spot where you're going to talk about Matas Buzelis. That is my answer. I think he's going to be a shot blocker, rebounder, goodies guy eventually, but hopefully the Bulls can make some moves to free up some space for him to get more minutes next year, because they didn't really play him very much this year. I think, 18 minutes a game. Go ahead. I think you probably got a more eloquent speech set up about Buzelis.
I don't know about all that, but Buzelis is the guy I'm really watching. It was fun, Doc, that he started all the games that he started. He started 31 games. He played 80. So could it have been more? Yeah, it could have been more. But I'll tell you what, Patrick Williams did not start over Matas Buzelis. He did not. And that was very, 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 very possible given 5 years, $90 million. Usually the money finds the floor. But also draft capital finds the floor. And you got a guy that was taken, I believe, 11, Matas Buzelis. I had a top 5 grade on him, Doc. In my pre-draft evaluations, he was a top 5 guy for me. I told you I love Buzelis. In the pre-draft process, okay, he stood out to me big time. Reed Sheppard stood out to me big time. Watching the tape of him at Kentucky, I'm like, this guy can go. He's got a wetter. He's got a defensive motor. Yes, I like Reed Sheppard. I see what the fuss is about here. I like Reed Sheppard more than I like Zach Resache. I'll say that. And you guys know that I had Alex Sarr on a pedestal all his own for that draft class. And I did like Klingon a lot. Really, really like Klingon. And then the deep guys. I was a Cam Spencer guy. I'm a Tristan Newton guy from the UConn championship team. Oh, one more, Doc. Sorry, I'm going on rants today. Baylor Shireman, the kid from Boston that played for Creighton. Loved me some Baylor Shireman watching him. And he had some moments with Boston. Proving your boy, at least not wrong. But Matas Buzelis is who I'm looking at, Doc, heading into next year. I'm trying to pull up a split or two on him. We on the split page? We are not on the split page. But I know that the numbers went up. He's one of those guys, Doc. What I found, I can just tell you this generally from last year. When Matas Buzelis was at like a 30-minute threshold, he always had a good game. And that's not always the case. Like Andrew Nebhard doesn't always have a good game when he's playing 30 minutes. Even right now, and Nebhard's like a really quality player. He has these lines where you're like, dude, that box score sucked. Like when Matas Buzelis gets 30 minutes, the box score loves him, dude. There's blocks, there's threes, sometimes there's dimes, there's points and rebounds. I'm a fan. And like I said, coming out of college, he reminded me of Chet Holmgren. Like a shorter, kind of smaller, but he's athletic. He attacks the rim. He's a shot blocker. He's got dog in him like Chet. Really competitive guy. But he's there's that whole Chicago and Lithuania connection. So it's all cool. It all like marries for me. So I'm a big fan, and he will be one of my top sleepers heading into next year. And, eventually as we move along in the summer, Doc and I, we've done a top 50 ranking, probably take it out to a 150 like our boy Brew. By the way, the B150, just know that it's in the works. It's coming out later on this summer, but that's our big ticket item over here. Not in terms of it's going to be like crazy expensive, but Brew's the guy in the B150. We'll be telling you all about that, and you'll all be checking that out. So, Doc, let's transition here to the Sacramento Kings. All right. Who was their fantasy MVP last year?
I guess, as usual, it was Domantas Sabonis. 70 games, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, no steals, no blocks, very few threes. Sabonis is tough, man. I mean, his stat line's good, but I'm not drafting Sabonis anymore, dude. I need some defense out of my bigs, 0.4 blocks is kind of pathetic. You could argue that their MVP was DeMar DeRozan, Mr. Mid-Range himself, who actually hit some three-pointers for once. DeRozan had a pretty good year. 1.1 threes. That's kind of exciting for him. But I'm going to go with Sabonis, even though I don't really like him.
I'm gonna go with Keon Ellis, Doc, because I love my job over here. So
Keon Ellis.
Keon Ellis is my fantasy MVP. No, I'm not. It's Domantas Sabonis. I'm a Sabonis freak. I love the guy. Love him. I get the lack of fantasy gold. I do. But like I say, let me put it to you this way. I don't go out of my way to get Domantas Sabonis. I don't go out of my way for it. If he's a third round guy, I'm not taking him in round 2. It's not like that. It's not like that. But if it's appropriate and it's the right place to take him, bang. I'm going to. And I know that the blocks and the steals are going to suck. I know that I'm going to be in hurry up mode throughout the rest of the draft to kind of make up for that. But he's so difference making with the rebounds. Get you well on your way to winning that category with just him alone, with 14 a game. He's at 19 points, which is a really strong number. 6 dimes from a center spot, which gives you all kinds of goodies. Like good centers and assists are like 3 a game. He doubles that up. So it's in a way a little bit like a 2-player for the price of 1 when you get, a double-double from your center plus 6 dimes per game. To me, that's very rare and very valuable. He is a good 3-point shooter. We just got to up the volume. He shot 41.7% from 3 last year, 41.7. That's elite. We got to up the percentage though, and I'm excited about the USA versus World All-Star format for one reason. Domantas Sabonis will make every All-Star game now. It won't need Adam Silver to get him there, and that hasn't even been the case the last 2 years. Not mad at Adam, just saying. But Sabonis is my fantasy MVP. Players who surprised you, Doc, from the Sacramento Kings last year were?
Keon Ellis? Am I allowed to say that? Apparently he didn't surprise Bruce. The steals and blocks from Ellis are fun. They really are. The 25 minutes a game, that's pretty fun. But the 8 points he scores is really rough. It's a tough pill to swallow. It means that Keon Ellis is not for everybody. I don't foresee Rick Kamla drafting Keon Ellis in a bunch of leagues. I don't see myself drafting Keon Ellis in a bunch of leagues, but in a roto league, he's a value play. And if you've got a bunch of scorers on your team and you get to the point late in your draft where you don't care about scoring, I think Keon Ellis is a great pick.
Keon Ellis's value may change dramatically depending on what Sacramento does this offseason. If they decide to go and back up the moving truck, Keon Ellis's role will spike. He'll add PRA to a degree with the awesome collection of fantasy gold. Maybe he's like one of my watch players, which we talk about later. But I want to go in a different route here as I talk about players who surprised me, Doc, for Sacramento last year. Because again, there wasn't really a lot of surprising stuff. Monk was Monk. Keegan Murray, with all the guys around there, I didn't expect him to spike. You had Levine, you had DeRozan, they were doing their thing. Sabonis did his thing. Trey Lyles did his little thing. It was all pretty chalky to me. The surprise was De'Aaron Fox being traded midseason, okay? And here's where the surprise originated. Dumb assery. Think about this, Doc. De'Aaron Fox wanted out of Sacramento. It was directly tied to the firing of Mike Brown, which was an absolutely horrible decision. You just extended him like 3 months earlier or something. Whacked him. When your best player didn't want you to whack him. What is that, bro? That is, it's so illogically, moronically stupid. I don't even know where to begin. And Mike Brown's a super quality coach, just won Coach of the Year, unanimously. They blow out Monty McNair, who just won Executive of the Year. It's so stupid. So think about this, Doc. As we are here in the NBA Finals, watching Tyrese Halliburton go on the most epic run of near buzzer-beating shots in the history of the league.
Ouch.
They should have traded De'Aaron Fox to Indiana and kept Halliburton. Dude, it is dumb on dumb on dumber on dumbest.
Do you remember when the Halliburton trade went down? And I was like, I could not believe that Tyrese Halliburton was available in a trade. And it's not like the Pacers gave them the world. They gave them a good player. But now Halliburton's got his
Hall of Famer.
Got his new shoe out, the Hallie 1, the pink Puma. He's a superstar. Indiana loves that kid. I mean, this is the new Peyton Manning, right?
I love it.
He's the new Reggie Miller. If he wins a chip this year, he's probably going to be called the greatest Pacer to ever play the game, which is crazy. Ass hattery all the way around, dude. And the fact that the Pacers were able to call them up and be like, yeah, we'd be interested in acquiring Tyrese Halliburton. What do you guys think? Okay, yeah, let's do it. I just can't imagine being a Kings fan and having to watch Tyrese Halliburton lead this Pacer team. It's literally the most entertaining team in the league at this point.
None of that is false, man. I'm just saying, dude. That surprised me. That all of the unzippering and the firings and not doing what your best player wants you to do. I mean, you basically acted like you didn't even care if De'Aaron Fox stayed on your team. And then you got bamboozled in the trade and didn't get near enough in the trade. You didn't get Stephon Castle. You didn't get Devin Vassell. I'm not trading De'Aaron Fox unless I get not both of those guys. You got to give me one of those cats. Got to. Nope. Went ahead and did it anyway. It's insane.
You know what else is surprising? The fact that De'Aaron Fox got traded, and then Keon Ellis didn't really pop.
Good point.
Like when Fox got traded, I think Brewski probably popped open a champagne bottle, was in his underwear out in his front yard dancing and running around and getting crunk because we all thought Keon Ellis was just going to start going off, but he still was not scoring even after that happened, which is kind of weird to me.
I want to see Crunk Brew. You just did such a great job of describing that. I want to see Crunk Brew. I do.
Bottles.
Put it on a t-shirt. Crunk Brew. That's our boy, man. I want to see Crunk Brew. But you got him in the front yard. In his undies, pouring champagne on himself. Awesome visual, dude. Awesome. Players who disappointed you. Shout out to our boy Brew. Players who disappointed you, Doc, were, or did I already ask you that? Dude, this is like anyway, it doesn't matter. Did I ask you that or not?
Kevin Huerter was extremely disappointing in Sacramento.
Good point. They also didn't play him, though.
Zach LaVine, I mean,
he was all right.
3.5.
He was all right.
0.6,
Remember he was playing?
0.1. What a mess this team is, dude. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan can't really coexist, can they? If a report came out,
they can.
We talked earlier about Kobe White and Josh Giddey. Oh, we were going to get rid of one of them just because we don't like them together. If that report came out about DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, it would make sense. The Giddey White thing, I don't fully understand it, but I think until they get rid of DeRozan or LaVine, things are going to stay messy in Sacramento, and it's going to be quite some time before we get that Kings Bulls finals matchup that we've all been waiting for.
Andre, let's do it now. Andre asked jokingly, but content-wise as well, how long until the Bulls and Kings meet up in the NBA Finals? I'm going to go with never.
Yep, I got never.
I'm going to go with never. That's my answer.
Infinity.
Infinity. I don't like using always or never. I have found that some of my partners use those phrases way too much, and it's nauseatingly annoying. And so I try not to talk in absolutes like that. I'll never do this or blah blah blah. But this is a never though. This one right here is a never, and way more on the Sac side than the Chicago side. There's a chance that the Reinsdorfs get this thing fired back up. There's no shot. I'll tell you, Doc. It's never with a ... I feel the same way I feel about the Kings as I felt about the Minnesota Timberwolves. Remember, I boycotted them during the Glenn Taylor years. I had to get out. I'm now back as a Timberwolves fan because it's A-Rod and Laurie. Okay, ceiling's been lifted off our team. Same thing with the Kings. If Vivek Ranadive wants to sell the team, then it's all lifted and there's a possibility. But dude, Vivek is way too meddling of an owner, Doc. He's way too meddling. He's got too much of an ego. He thinks he knows too much. I mean, dude, this guy whacked. Do you remember back in it? Wait, was that the Maloof family? Did the Maloof family whack Michael Malone, or was that a Vivek Ranadive production? I think that was Vivek. Do you remember no coach could ever get to DeMarcus Cousins? Like, just the angriest player I've ever seen in my life. And a phenomenal talent. But do you remember, like, he was screaming at teammates and coaches and refs, and he was just an anger management mess. And Michael Malone finally reached him. They were like at 500. And you remember they whacked him like mid-season, right? You remember that? You remember that bull crap?
Yep.
I got to look that up. Did Vivek whack Michael Malone? Because
Andre says yes.
It was Vivek. Yeah. And Vivek had the Vlade Divac, Dave Yeager stuff. Are we starting Bagley? Are we bringing him off the bench? Dude, it's a nonstop chaotic mess in Sacramento.
Dude, the Bagley pick. Oh.
The Bagley pick. And then they didn't even start him, bro. Remember, they were bringing him off the bench.
He didn't deserve to start. He's not.
I mean, maybe not, but god dang it. The guy's a number 2 pick. You got to try to save face and put him out there, dude. You just passed on Luka and Trae Young for Marvin Bagley. Didn't he end it's so laughable. Didn't he, most Sacramento thing ever, bro. Who did he finish the season with this year?
Detroit, wasn't it? Or Washington.
Was it Memphis? Wait a minute. We are tripping. Marvin Bagley ended the season on which team? I'm saying Memphis. What's your call?
Damn. I think he was on Detroit, then he went to Washington, and I feel like he may have ended it in Memphis.
Why is Andre mentioning Pete D'Alessandro? I used to love Pete D'Alessandro's work. You remember reading Pete D'Alessandro back in the day? Or was it Dave D'Alessandro? Maybe it was Dave. Anyway, Let's reel it in here, dude. Let's reel it.
Where did Marvin Bagley finish the season? Do we know? Are we?
I'm waiting on the Andre bomb here. He usually.
You're waiting on AI.
Or AL.
You're waiting on Siri.
We don't have AI. We have AL. Andre Lemouche. Memphis. I got that chicken dinner winner for your boy. I won $100 or something. I don't know.
Very
Not
nice.
from Doc though. Not even the most burrito on the line there. Off-season outlook, Doc. I may have to go get some Moe's tonight, bro. I love some Moe's. Off-season outlook. All right, this is what's kind of sexy here. They don't have a first-round pick. Trey Lyles, Jake LaRavia, Doug McDermott, Markelle Fultz, all free agents. Who cares? There's a report, Doc, that they want to break up the big three. Be the most Vivek thing ever. We finally brought it. Let's blow it up. Let's change. Like, bro, chill. Never mind. But why would they want to break up the big three? So what are you thinking about this, dude? Do you think they should break up the big three in Sacramento? And if they do, who should be hitting the road?
I do. I like it. Let's say you trade Sabonis. What do you get back? Boatload. You get back basically whatever you want. That's not a true league superstar. You can trade Sabonis for two very good players. You can trade DeMar DeRozan for two very good players. You can trade Zach LaVine for two very good players. I would trade all three of them and get whatever I can get back. Because LaVine and DeRozan and Sabonis, it just doesn't work. They're all very good players individually, but as teammates, it just doesn't work. Trade them all for whatever you can get and start over.
Wait, that's right. Andre, can you confirm? Dave D'Alessandro, I think, was a basketball writer for like Sporting News back in the day, but I used to read his stuff. I thought it was really good. Pete D'Alessandro might have been related to Dave D'Alessandro, but Andre says Pete was a big driving force behind Vivek parting ways with Michael Malone. So it was co-signed and collaborative dumbassery. And then all those years later, Doc, what? Michael Malone establishes a culture in Denver. They win a chip. In Sacramento, still Sacra-frickin-mento.
And
right?
he gets whacked.
And then he gets whacked. Ruthlessly. So, I don't know, man. No. I'm not blowing this shit up. I'm not, Doc. I'm not. Here's why I say this, okay? DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis and Keon Ellis, the core six for Sacramento, have not played a full season yet together. Why would you blow it up? What foundation do you have to support blowing it up? This isn't a failure. We don't know. So no, I'm not blowing it up. Let's bring it back. I tell you what I'm doing though, Doc. I'm starting Keon Ellis and Malik Monk is coming off the bench, and that's it.
I want a new center, dude. I want to trade Sabonis. Get me a shot blocker defensive player.
Yeah, I was right. Dave D'Alessandro, NBA writer, Newark Star Ledger, and Sporting News. There you go. Shout out to Dave D'Alessandro. All right, Doc. So I think I think we may be about done here. Let me see if we got more. Oh, players to watch heading into next year. I thought we had one more little mini segment to get to. You want me to go first? You want to go first? Players to watch on SAC heading into next year.
I mean, Keon Ellis is the big one. Jake LaRavia seems to have some talent. Did you say he's a free agent?
Yes, sir.
I kind of like LaRavia. I'd like to see him get an opportunity somewhere. And then Malik Monk, man. I feel like Malik Monk had a really weird year. He kind of, pouted his way into the starting lineup, but just come off the bench, win the Sixth Man of the Year award, and go back to doing what you do. But I am very intrigued and kind of excited to see what Keon Ellis is going to do next year. Now that anyone who's ever listened to any podcast at Sports Ethos knows a lot about Keon Ellis.
So Jake LaRavia may or may not be a free agent, Doc. I'm having trouble reading this. It says 2025-26 club option deadline Halloween, but that's of 2024. I don't know. AI told me that he's a free agent, but it looks murky. Maybe he's not a UFA. Maybe there is a little bit of connection there with LaRavia and Sac. For me, I'm watching many players here. If Sacramento decides to blow it up and trade, even, Doc, one of the big three, Keegan Murray is going to have his breakout season. He just needs one of those guys removed from the deal there in Sacramento. If it's Levine, if it's DeRozan, if it's Sabonis, if it's Monk, and then boom, we will get, oh my God, Keegan Murray is here, scoring 17 a game with double-doubles and defensive stats and being the absolute under-the-radar gem that he is. I love Keegan Murray. I've been saying all offseason, he is a get. Buy low with him right now in Dynasty leagues. When I restart the Cam Dynasty, I'm going to make some hopefully not embarrassing trade offers for Keegan Murray. He's on the second best team, so it's going to be hard to get him, but I'm going to try. Malik Monk, are you starting or coming off the bench? Doc, his numbers were good last year. They weren't great, but his numbers were good. 17 points, good rebounds, good assists, some steals, some threes. Like, it was a good stat line, a very healthy stat line. But if he's coming off the bench, boop, that's coming down. It just will automatically. So that's a big thing I'm watching. Obviously, the pivot there with Keon Ellis, is he going to start? And then one more dude, and this is kind of a deep league special, I think maybe a 30 deep type of guy. Remember Devin Carter? He was like the 10th overall pick in the 2024 draft, but safely in the lottery. He was hurt to begin the season. Sac really likes him, and I watched him play a little bit at the end of the year. He's a real high-energy player, and I kind of like him. I don't know a ton about him, but I got my eye on Devin Carter. I think he's going to be a mainstay in the rotation next year. That's all I got, bro.
Yeah, I like the Keegan Murray take. Like you said, he's a player away from kind of blowing up. So he's been pretty disappointing up to this point, but I think we both think that he can play, and if he gets an opportunity, he's going to be fun. So I'm with you on that one.
So here's the LaRavia thing, and then we'll get out of here. Memphis declining his fourth-year option for the 25-26 season this past fall. He's limited in free agency to re-signing for that declined fourth-year salary of 5.1. To me, he'd be like, you're gigging if you're making 5.1 and you're Jake LaRavia. Like, I don't look at that. Oh man, that's so unfair. Like, that sounds about right. That limit carried over in the trade. Neither Memphis nor Sac can pay him more than this, but 28 other teams can. Interesting. He said the Kings can give him a 2-year deal with a second-year player option that would be at that 5.1. So it is, as you can see there, it is complicated with Jake LaRavia and free agency. And any final words here, Doc, before we say goodbye to the people?
No, sir. I think we are done. My favorite band, Pavement. There is a movie out called Pavements about pavement. It's a very weird movie. It's sort of a documentary, but it's sort of not. But it's also one of the best music-related movies that I've ever seen in my life. I loved it. Check it out. It's in limited theaters right now. It'll be probably coming to streaming services in a couple months, but it's amazing. I loved it.
Good for you, bro. Good for you. Pavements. Check it out. Check it out when you can. Speaking of check it out, go to sportsethos.com, subscribe to our work over there, get grandfathered in, and your rate will stay where it's at. As we continue to add value to the platform, go to the Sports Ethos app. It's free. Go to your favorite app store and download the Sports Ethos app. It's completely free for you out there. And we appreciate y'all. For Andre Lemouche, a.k.a. AL, and for Hall of Famer Dr. A, Steve Alexander, I am Rick Kamla. We will see you all on Wednesday at around 11 o'clock Eastern Time, a.m., and we will be continuing to go through teams here in our offseason breakdowns of all 30 teams. And we will be looking ahead also to Game 3 of the NBA Finals. So we will see you then. This episode's been brought to you by Bet Online. Have a good one, y'all.